This is the new Powkiddy V90s, a compact flippy screen handheld with great GBA vibes, solid performance, feels great in the hands, has an awesome hinge, and a price that is suspiciously reasonable. I've been using it all freaking day, and it got me really excited to make this video, because honestly, for the price, it's kind of awesome. You're kind of awesome too, TechDweeb. Hey, thanks buddy. Yeah, I was just saying the other day how cool you were too, and how everyone likes you and everyone also wishes they were you, and also how big your muscles are. Oh, stop, you're embarrassing me. Don't be silly. Nothing could ever embarrass you, TechDweeb. You're just too cool. You got a point there. Yeah, this is, it's gonna be one of those videos. Hey there, hi, how you doing? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. A long time ago, I reviewed the original Powkiddy V90. That little guy was legendary, for me anyway. It was my first ever flippy screen emulation doodad, and I played the absolute heck out of it. It had a low resolution screen, barely ran Super Nintendo, kind of a potato with buttons, but I loved it because for the longest time, it was our only GBASP style handheld. It was the flippy option, but now we have a heck ton of flippy options, and we've got even more on the way. So the age of the flip is upon us, and there's lots of options, and I mean, yeah, the V90 had its day, and that day is long past by now. But Powkiddy isn't about to let all of these upstarts steal their flippy doodad crown. Enter the V90s. It's like a big fancy upgraded version of the V90. And it looks almost exactly like the FlipZizzle. But the V90s is missing a few things that the FlipZizzle has, like no video out, no built-in Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth. So why get this one? And it's the same reason that we got the original V90. Because it's cheap. It's the cheapest new flippy screen doodad out right now, and the build quality is shockingly close to the FlipZizzle, which costs way more, so I mean, if you don't care about the extras, this thing might be the perfect fit. What I'm trying to say is, it's nice for the price. 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 Speaking of which, this V90s was kindly sent to me by the cool dweebs over at LitNXT. They sell this, and you can buy it from them if you want one. Right now, they have a 12% off Father's Day sale if you use code DAD12. So you can buy one of these for your dad, or tell your dad to buy one of them for you, or tell your kid to buy one for you because you're their dad, or just buy one for yourself for no reason other than you want one, I guess. First things first, let's take a look-see at what we get here. In the box, we get the device, and under there is a word paper and a USB-C cable. Wow, that's not a very fun unboxing, is it? I'm glad I didn't make a dedicated video. I love your videos, TechDweeb. I can't blame you for that. Yeah, they're pretty great. The specs are a tad more interesting because this thing is rocking the Allwinner A133 Plus chipset. We get 1 GB of DDR3 RAM. The screen is a 3.5-inch 640 by 480 IPS display. And we have a 3000 mAh battery. No Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no video out, and no spicy Chipotle cashews. You need to add those yourself. On the outside, we have a little Powkiddy logo. Opening it up reveals those juicy insides. Up here is our screen. Down here, we have a D-pad, function button, start and select, face buttons, and a single 1-watt speaker. On the right is an SD card hole for the system card and a power button and a reset button. On the left is another SD card hole for the games and volume up and down. Nothing on the bottom. Up top, we have bumpers and triggers and a USB-C hole for charging and another USB-C hole for OTG connection. Around back, we have a battery door with a user swappable battery in there. I think this thing looks awesome. It's a lot bigger than the V90. As you can see, it fills out your hands better. The screen is way bigger, and it feels great. Really high quality plastic, which looks good. I have the smoky black version here, although I'm planning on getting the gray one because I think that one looks great too. Some nice aesthetic touches like this little sort of cyberpunk design down here. First, because we're on a flippy doodad, we gotta talk about the hinge, right? And the hinge, it feels amazing. It's super smooth and strong, but silent, no crunching or grinding. It just glides open and rests at that same comfortable viewing angle that all these things go with. You can open it past that, but it doesn't stay open, so you're stuck with that angle, which isn't my preference. I like the way the MEEEEEEE Flip does it, where you get multiple angles and you can have it all the way open, but whatever. It's fine. It's a good angle. Overall, I'd say for the price, the look and feel is amazing. You're not so bad yourself, TechDweeb. Yeah, it's true. Oh, stop. No, you stop. No, you stop. No, you stop. No, you stop. No, you. With the Powkiddy V90s, we now have 5 GBASP shaped and sized flippy doodads. We have the original V90 and the Flip Zizzle and the MEEEEEEE Flip and the Flap Zizzle and now the V90s. Compared to the original V90, this thing is enormous. However, I always kind of liked the original V90 because it was so small and light and cute. It's a shame that they lost that aspect here. Compared to the Flip Zizzle, it's the same. They're like the exact same size and exact same shape. The hinge feels more or less the same. There are a few differences though. The SD card holes are on the sides instead of the bottom. No video out, obviously. The V90s doesn't have hinge closing detection. You have to tap the sleep button yourself. And the D-pad and the buttons are in slightly different spots. They feel different too. The bumpers feel about the same, but the face buttons aren't clicky on the V90s. They're more like mushy membrane style. The only really loud buttons on the V90s are the start and select, and also the R2 and L2. For some reason, R2 and L2 are way louder than R1 and L1. So the controls aren't silent. The Flip Zizzle didn't have silent controls, so it's not much different there either. And speaking of the controls, they're good. At first, the D-pad and the buttons felt a little bit soft. I think my brain was expecting the firm clickiness of the Flip Zizzle's controls. But after a few minutes, everything felt totally natural. The D-pad is responsive, diagonals land right where you want them, no ghost inputs, no fumble fingers. I was pulling off quarter circles in fighting games almost as if I knew what the heck I was doing. You can press select and R2 to make the D-pad act like an analog stick. It's not really analog, obviously, but it gets the job done for stuff like PSP games. It's a nice little workaround. Hardware-wise, the controls are solid. I like them. No complaints. I have no complaints about you either, TechDweeb. Oh, that's good. You have beautiful thumbs. Thanks, buddy. The way you pulled off that quarter circle in Street Fighter, I think even Ryu was impressed. I mean, I've been practicing. I'd let you input diagonals on my heart, TechDweeb. The screen is pretty typical for these doodads. It's 3.5 inches and 640 by 480. Most of these things use the same screen, but I don't know if the V90s is the same screen. Maybe I just won the screen lottery, but the screen on my V90s is a little bit nicer than the one on my Flip Zizzle and my MEEEEEEE Flip. It has slightly more saturated colors, and the blacks are a little bit darker. It's not something that's going to come across on camera, but I did want to mention it because I like nice screens, and this one is like 3% nicer. The sound is also good. It's a bit better on the V90s than the Flip Zizzle. It's a bit louder and crisper and clearer. I think it sounds great. Like when I do this, happy birthday, dear TechDweeb. Happy birthday to you. You remembered my birthday. Of course, TechDweeb, and I got you a present. Really? Yep, I overclocked myself and now PSP runs with 2% better performance, but my battery drains in 23 minutes. Wow, it's what I always wanted. The system that we have on here is, something. It says Botocera in the menu, so maybe it actually is Botocera. It definitely has vibes of Rocknix and Newly, so I don't know. Yeah, it kind of feels like they're piecing together bits and pieces of various firmwares to make this. Like a Game Boy carrying case made from duct tape and an old sock. Like my Game Boy case, I mean. Overall, the system actually works pretty great. You can set game settings like shaders and decorations, and the standard Botocera options are in here. You can set global options and also per system options. The RetroArch implementation is well done, and you can tweak some of the settings about RetroArch. There is some jank here. For example, you can't change the RetroArch hotkeys. Even if you turn off auto mapping, it doesn't work, and a few other RetroArch things that I'd like to be able to tweak that they don't let you do here, but honestly, it's fine. It's a good system. Plus, since this is emulation station based, that means you can install themes. You don't get the ability to download themes from within the front end because there's no Wi-Fi. You can use a dongle for that if you need to. I tried it and it worked, but you can easily copy themes over to the SD card if you don't want to do that. That's what I did to get my TechDweeb theme on here. Wow, TechDweeb, is that a custom theme you made? That's amazing. Yep, it's just something I threw together. No big deal. No big deal. It's beautiful. It's like if a sunset learned how to organize ROMs. No, it's nothing. It's not nothing! Let's quickly talk about the game lists, and they're overall quite good. I just have the 64GB version of the card, but I was impressed. They have really nice big collections of the older systems, and the games all have nice scraped box art and proper file names. There isn't much that I could find to complain about apart from a few random systems having weird lists. And overall, the game lists are good. They're not perfect, but really good, especially compared to like the Amberlick handhelds. Those game lists are total garbage. But Powkiddy obviously gives a crap about giving us a good game library out of the box. Those are fully licensed legal games, right, TechDweeb? I'm not sure. What do you think? I think yes. Yes, they are. All right, let's go with that. When it comes to gaming, it's pretty much the experience you'd expect. The A133 Plus chip is a little bit more powerful than the H700 we get in Amberlick devices, but honestly, they're all in the same ballpark. Which means you're going to be playing everything up to and including PS1 and Nintendo DS, along with a good amount of Dreamcast and Nintendo 64 and PSP. Not every game from those high-end systems, but most games should be good. Obviously, since we don't have an analog stick, you're not going to have an amazing time playing games that require analog input. Even if you can have the D-pad act as a stick, it's not ideal for actual analog sticking, but it gets the job done for most games, to be fair. And to be honest, the gaming experience here is exactly the same as it is on the FlipZizzle. I love it. I love it for 4x3 stuff especially, since we're on a 4x3 screen. Systems like Genesis and TurboGrafx 16 and PS1, those scale perfectly, and even NES and Super Nintendo and Game Boy, they have all the options that I need to make them look exactly how I like them on these 3.5-inch 640x480 screens. The performance on the high-end stuff is exactly where I'd expect it to be. I'm quite familiar with this chip because this is what we get on the TrimUI Smart Pro and the Brick, and I've made multiple videos about both of those. And I guess it's good news here that even though Powkiddy have made their own OS, they got the performance stuff right. Everything worked how I expected. Playing the older stuff is really what I'm here for. Like arcade, NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Atari, Genesis, Nintendo DS, PlayStation, and a smattering of Dreamcast and PSP. That's a great collection of systems. That's like a lifetime worth of gaming right there. And I'm happy to play that kind of stuff on a device like this. Everything the V90s plays, I love playing on it. It's just as amazing as the FlipZizzle. Which brings me to an important point. Which is why would you get a V90s when the FlipZizzle is the same? It's almost identical hardware. With Newly, the FlipZizzle is running a Batocera fork, so the software is almost the same performance more or less. However, the V90s doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or HDMI like the FlipZizzle has. So why get this when this exists? And my response to that is, if you need Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and HDMI, then you shouldn't get the V90s. Get the FlipZizzle. But if you don't need that stuff, like, why wouldn't you get the V90s? It's significantly cheaper than the FlipZizzle. And it's like, the FlipZizzle is great, and the V90s is great for the same reasons. So if you can get that same greatness on the cheap, that's good. That's a good thing. And in that way, the V90s is a freaking smash hit by Powkiddy, in my opinion, because it carries on the legacy of the V90. The V90 was a budget handheld that people could actually afford. It was limited, but it was so cheap and it did so much for the price. And it had the form factor that made it last a long time, protected in your pocket or backpack, and at a price that it wasn't the end of the world if something happened to it. So you actually wanted to take it out around with you. And the V90 it's old and outdated by now, but I can easily see the V90s carrying that torch. And I'm here for it. Powkiddy Powkiddy sometimes makes some real jank, but this isn't real jank. It's real, the opposite of jank. Competence. It's real competence, which coming from Powkiddy feels like finding a gourmet sandwich at a gas station. I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna eat it. So yeah, that's it. That's all there is to the V90s. A great handheld, great price. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Would I trust it with my deepest secrets? Also yes. That was a great video, TechDweeb. But are you gonna turn the camera off now? Oh yeah, we got some settings to tweak, don't we? You got that right. Oh yeah.